All right. The Sort of Sports Podcast presents The Big Salad.
If it was a regular salad, I wouldn't have said anything. But you had to have that big salad!
On to episode 6. Hosted by the one and only Quinn Masenko.
Thank you, George, and thank you, Ryan. Today we'll play What's the Word, have Ryan's special section. We'll skip Seinfeld for now. Close with Happy Time. But we begin today with the official Big Salad NFL mock draft.
Yep.
And this Thursday night, be sure to tune in to NFL Network, ESPN, for the NFL Draft. All right? It's the first round only, like usual. Second and third rounds on Friday, 4 through 7 on Saturday. And Roger Goodell, who's been fully vaccinated, can hug players now. Which, if that was a headline for you, you might need to get checked out. But I think Goodell hugging players is the least of the worries. It's about making people's dreams here on draft night. So,
And I don't think hugging Goodell is one of the dreams, though.
Exactly, I agree. And you know what? Sometimes he gets replaced. I mean, for the Steelers, I know they've had Mean Joe Green and Ryan Shazier present the last two before.
I feel like that would be almost more meaningful.
Yes, it would be.
Like, if I was going to call the NFL and they're like, you could have, Peyton Manning announce here, Roger Goodell. I'm like, Peyton Manning, please. Mm-hmm. I'll take Peyton Manning for $500. Like, I want that.
For $500?
Yeah.
What is this, Jeopardy now?
It is Jeopardy. We just talked about Jeopardy a lot last week. I miss it now that Rodgers is gone.
Yes. Anderson Cooper's in. I do like Anderson Cooper as he's got a good voice.
I haven't watched much yet. Voice. I should watch more.
Yes.
I will watch this week because it's 2 weeks, right?
Yes, he gets 2 weeks.
Okay, so I will watch this week and I'll be able to report. Maybe we're doing the Jeopardy report now. Is that part of our gig now?
We got so many guest hosts, and we have I don't know how to pronounce her name correctly, but she played Farrah Fowler on The Big Bang Theory.
Oh yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yep. It's dropping from my mind too, and I know exactly what you're talking about.
I know the name because it's right in my head, but I just can't pronounce it correctly, and I don't want to butcher it on here.
No, I know exactly. She's hosting in June or May?
No, she's hosting the next 2 weeks after Anderson Cooper, and then.
Okay, well, if I watch this Anderson Cooper thing and I have an opinion, then that might just be another segment where we talk about the guest host of Jeopardy because I really enjoy listening to the Jeopardy hosts. Let's
see what it says. I don't know if that's right.
I don't think it's right.
I think it's this one. We'll try this. This one's usually better.
Well, I will say, I've really been enjoying the whole Jeopardy thing, but like I said, I do think they're going to end up going with Ken Jennings regardless. Right. But I do think we should maybe just talk every week about,
Right, what the sweepstakes are.
Yeah, like, who's a good host, who's a bad host. But I'll pay attention this week. So, Quinn, do you have the name ready?
Yes, it's Mayim Bialik. Mayim Bialik.
Wow.
Again, it's going to give me 3 pronunciations for that because it goes slower and faster on YouTube. But Mayim Bialik, who starred in The Big Bang Theory, is next 2 weeks on Jeopardy.
I feel like she'll be good.
Yes, I think
she's very charismatic and very funny.
That's good too. I mean, I have some rankings right now. I mean, I really like Ken Jennings.
Yes.
I think it goes Ken Jennings for me, and then Aaron Rodgers.
Then this guy.
And then Anderson Cooper, and then Katie Couric, and then Mike Richards, and then Dr. Mehmet Oz at the bottom because he was awful.
Am I imagining things, or is Kate McKinnon hosting a bit?
No, she's not.
She's not? Well,
she is not.
She's really good. I actually really like her on SNL. And
she's funny.
She's funny. Like, she's like...
But she's not...
Yeah.
But she's not tapped.
I think her or Leslie Jones, either of them would have been good people to tap. But granted, that's NBC.
I think they should have tapped Will Ferrell.
That would have been funny, yeah.
He plays Alex Trebek on Celebrity Jeopardy and SNL.
Yeah.
So...
That would have been a fun full circle thing. There's a lot of celebrities I think they should have tapped. And you know what I thought would have been fun?
They got LeVar Burton, though.
That's true.
Everybody was flipping out on social media that he did not get picked in the first round, and he got one. Now, in the summer series, it's cut down to a week only. And then there's a 6-week, obviously, break from August to September.
Yeah.
Mid-September.
I would love to see if they keep doing guest hosts for like another run.
Nope.
You don't think
they're picking somebody for the new season?
I think they're going Jennings.
Well, yeah, I think they're going Jennings too.
I think it'd be really fun to see The Rock. I'm just saying.
It's not going to be The Rock.
They wouldn't. He's too much money.
No, because he's not game show host material.
He's fun though. I like him. He's a very
No.
charismatic man.
No.
You don't want to miss your U.S. president?
Wrong. You're so wrong. I mean, no, I don't want my next president either. I hate to break it to The Rock. Him or Mark Cuban. If they're thinking about running, don't run, please. Anyway, that's not what this podcast is about. This is about the NFL mock draft. We went on a tangent from Jeopardy to the White House, and now we're back to Cleveland, Ohio, where the draft will take place. All right.
Cleveland's been getting a lot of action. I was just thinking about this
They
the other
are.
day because they had the All-Star game in 2018 for baseball. They're having the NBA All-Star game next year, which I'm hoping I'm going to go to.
And they're having the women's basketball Final Four, the NCAA, in 2022.
Exactly, because you and I have talked about going to that.
That's exactly.
That's
exactly right.
I'd be there in February and then once again in March.
Yep.
And
March,
probably,
April, depending on
yeah,
how the days
depending
go.
on how. But like Cleveland, I don't know why everybody decided that they're a nice place to host things, but I'm happy.
I mean, I don't know either, but
Yeah,
I'm not a huge Cleveland fan. Obviously, I'm a Pittsburgh fan.
yeah,
But,
I like Cleveland. So
yep, I've only been to Cleveland a couple times.
I've been to Cleveland. I went up there for a wrestling show. And it was
I've definitely been
I
to
really liked
Cleveland
going up to the
once.
wrestling show. They had a nice atmosphere.
I just went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago now. I don't think I've been to Cleveland. I've been to Cleveland before then. But I don't
I've
know
probably
when.
been up to Cleveland 6 times, probably. And every time it was for a sporting event.
Right.
Where it was like, one time I went to WWE Fastlane, which is the last show before WrestleMania, last pay-per-view.
Okay.
And then, that's like the Fastlane to Mania.
Okay.
And then, like, I've been to 5 or 6 Cavs games, so.
There you go.
Yeah.
At the cast. Anywho, we're going on to the NFL mock draft here for the Big Salad. And we got some separate predictions. I might be lagging in my predictions or agreeing with Ryan, but
So I
Ryan's
open
got
every
his-
one.
Ryan has his beautifully written out by his girlfriend, and he was prepared. I was not prepared and busy mowing lawns this week. So, some of these things I know off the top of my head, so I will agree or disagree immediately. And then after, we're just going to do the top 10. And after the top 10, Ryan will select for the Browns. I will select for the Steelers. And then we will commence on to the next headline.
All right. So for the first pick, the Jaguars have it. And I think this is the most cut and dry pick in the NFL draft. You're holding up a finger. Or why are you holding up a finger?
With the first pick of the 2021 NFL Draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select
Trevor Lawrence.
from Clemson.
I was gonna fake you out and say something like Jamar Chase just as a joke, but then I was like, it's not even worth it.
You can't fake it out when the picture, our first picture is Trevor Lawrence and
Yeah, that's gonna be the
Jaguars
picture that
uniform.
opens
But,
up the show.
Yes, so
Well, there's not a lot of analysis I can give here because he's the most complete. I think the argument that he's the most complete quarterback prospect since Andrew Luck is completely true. He's got all the physical tools. And I mean, he was amazing in college. Freshman year wins the national title. I was coming from a guy who doesn't even like Clemson that much. He's definitely got it going on. Sunshine with the hair. Remember, the Titans fans understand what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah, you've never seen that movie?
I have, but it's been a while.
All right, excellent football film.
Denzel Washington.
Yep, we both said it. Denzel Washington's a great one.
I love Denzel Washington. He's great.
So good in that.
But
He's
yeah,
good in
and
general, but he's really good.
Side note right here, I watched a little bit of the Oscars last night.
Yeah.
I really like Viola Davis. She is great.
She is
She
great.
is great. Have you seen Widows?
No, I've not seen
You
Widows.
have to see it.
I have to see
You
Widows.
have to see it. It's got
Did
Liam
you-
Neeson in there too, and you like Liam Neeson.
I do like Liam Neeson,
So,
yeah.
there it is.
Did you watch Ma Rainey's then?
No, I have not.
You and
I have
I
not
both need
watched
to watch Ma
any
Rainey.
of those movies that they had up because I looked up Anthony Hopkins' movie too. Because you know I like Anthony Hopkins.
Oh, that movie's
and
such a downer.
Silence of
I've
the
heard
Lambs.
that movie
but
so.
the ratings are so good.
Yeah, it may be good, but it's just sad. It just looks sad.
I'm not gonna cry about it. It's a good drama.
He won.
Dramas.
He's the oldest guy to win Best
Yes,
Actor.
he was. It was an upset though over Chadwick Boseman. Everybody thought Chadwick was gonna get it.
I wanted Chadwick to win it just in memoriam. I feel like that would have been cool. Because
Right.
I was a huge Chadwick Boseman fan. He was one of my top 10, borderline top 5 favorite actors. I love him in 42. I love him in
He has a James
Black
Brown
Panther.
biopic, and he's got Black Panther.
We talked about him last week, I think.
We did.
He's
we did.
so good. Him and Michael B. Jordan are both in
Yes.
Black Panther. And
Again,
both of them are great
Another
actors.
plug-in for Just Mercy, starring Michael
Yes,
B. Jordan.
I know I need to
Please
watch
watch
that. I
Just
know I need to
Mercy.
watch that. I'm going to have to borrow your HBO
And
Max account for
there's
that
a
one.
book. There's a book. It's actually based on a book. So,
Yes.
read the book too.
I need to borrow your
Yeah.
HBO Max for that because I can't. Your sister told me I need to watch that.
Oh, well, good job. Good job, Kenny.
I've had multiple people tell me, like, you need to watch and Just Mercy, and those 2 people were you and your sister.
Oh, good.
But
I
I'm
don't know if
incredibly
that's really
interested.
counting as multiple. I think it has to be more than 2.
Yeah, I guess it's true.
But
More than 1.
No, I think it's got to be more than. I think it's got to be at least 5.
For it to be multiple? Yeah, I'm saying more than 1 person has told me, but it's not multiple until it's more than 5.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it's not many until it's like 8+.
No, that's several.
I guess you're right. Many would be like what, 12?
Anyway, I don't know.
Breaking Down Words with Ryan and Quinn, the new show.
Well, What's the Word is coming up later. So
Yeah.
And PTI, the real show, Tony Kornheiser is an honorary doctor of words. So I mean,
Yeah.
that's what we're doing right now,
Yeah.
taking on his role. But anyway,
All right, back to the Trevor Lawrence thing.
Trevor
And one
Lawrence.
last thing, I actually am incredibly interested to watch Just Mercy because good old courtroom drama, and it's got Michael B. Jordan, and he is great in every film I've seen him in. Never disappointed me. So I'll definitely have to watch it soon. We can talk about it, whether it's on the podcast or just the 2 of us. All right.
right.
Trevor Lawrence, I don't know what else to say. He's got Urban Meyer. Now, the only drawback that I think is interesting is that I know many Ohio State fans, and they've all, not all, but some of them have made a point to me where it's, well, how often has Urban pumped out a great quarterback prospect? And I do find that interesting. Is Urban really going to develop him as well as an Andy Reid would? And I'm not saying Andy Reid's like the best quarterback coach ever. That definitely not. But I'm saying he knows how to build an offense around a quarterback. Mm-hmm. And another guy would be Bruce Arians. Mm-hmm. Like, let's say he gets Bruce Arians. I think he would thrive more in that system. I think Urban Meyer's just is really good at developing receivers and running backs more than he is quarterbacks. But granted, how much does Lawrence need to develop? It'll be very interesting. He's definitely going to be the number 1 pick. He's definitely going to turn the Jaguars around. But I don't think it's going to be a year 1 wild card spot. It's going to be a year or 2 before we see them do much. But they're a great team because they got a lot of cap space, they got a good new coach, and they got one of the best young quarterbacks we've seen in a while.
But I don't think Urban has to have all the pressure on developing him because that's why you have an offensive coordinator and a quarterbacks coach.
You do put a lot more faith into
you have to delegate.
you put a lot more faith into coaching staffs
he's
than I
delegating.
do. In general, you put more faith into coaching staffs than I do.
Right. So
I focus a lot on the heads.
I know.
And I probably shouldn't.
But the buck stops somewhere.
Yeah.
So, but I agree with Ryan. Trevor Lawrence will be the number 1 overall pick for this NFL draft. And I'll be interested to see. I like Urban Meyer in this pick.
Me too.
I really do.
I think
like
that Jaguars team is built beautifully.
I think there's still a lot of
For the
pieces.
future. No,
a
for
lot
the
of
future,
pieces.
though.
Right.
They're set up well. They've got a good receiving core already.
Right.
And that's good.
They got to work on O-line.
Yep.
They got a decent back. And then their defense at one point was the epitome of the NFL.
Yeah.
And they got to work on rebuilding.
Well, they finally
that,
got a good coach.
Right.
Yeah. So
But,
that's good.
Yeah, Doug Marrone got fired and shipped off to rehab at Alabama because that's where all the fire coaches go to rehab at Alabama under Nick Saban.
Yep.
And then they come out and get another head coaching job in about 2 years. So
It's just Nick's retirement home that gets you back out there. I guess.
exactly.
I don't know what that'd
until
be.
he retires. But,
It's like Alcoholics Anonymous, but except it's for bad coaching. They just reform you into doing better.
yeah, I don't know how. I guess it's not. I guess it's Coaching Anonymous. I don't
Coaching
know.
Anonymous?
I don't know.
Don't tell anybody you're here.
Yeah, we're gonna put an alias on you. But yes, I
That's
agree.
not Doug Marrone.
No, that's Jug Perone.
That's Jug Perone. Come on, Jughead, guys.
Jughead, yes. On the Archie comics.
Yeah.
Archie, Veronica, Mr. Weatherby. That's a plug for Seinfeld there.
Yep.
We're saying that. But anyway, moving on. But yes, Trevor Lawrence will be the number 1 overall pick. I think the Jags will be a team to watch. I think they're going to get some nationally recognized games because even though they're not going to be that good, they're going to bring in the ratings.
Especially in Ohio. Because the number 1 place that has the most Ohio wins that is in Ohio, like former Ohioans, is Florida. A lot of people in Ohio retire to Florida. And that Jacksonville area is going to benefit from like a lot of your older people that retired
Hopefully.
and moved up.
If they're there.
Yeah, if they're there.
I mean, so.
Another thing I do find interesting with the Jaguars, though, is that when you look at their division for the future, the Texans might as well light their stadium on fire because everything's going to crap.
Yeah, so.
And so
it was already going down.
Yeah,
so.
it was already going down, and now it's getting worse.
Yeah.
And if it could, I didn't think it'd get worse, but it did. And then, the Titans are interesting. It's interesting to see what they're going to do if Tannehill's going to slow down, if Tannehill will keep up the pace. Obviously, they have arguably the best running back in the NFL in Derrick Henry.
Yes.
And then the Colts, you and I
Prince
like
Harry.
the Colts.
Prince Harry.
We like the Colts, though.
I'm dissing the Colts, though, because of Prince Harry.
I'm saying for the future, that division isn't really set. It's not like the AFC West where you got the Chiefs just running rampant.
You don't know what'll happen. The Chiefs could go on a tailspin.
It's Chiefs Chargers. Raiders are nobodies, and
The Raiders can get better, though.
they can, but not in the next 3 years. You know what I'm saying?
They're going to get better before that because he's already used up 3 of his seasons. He's got 7 more to go.
I guess you're
Better
right.
figure it out. Anyway.
I guess you're right, but I'm saying their division is relatively open. There's not a dominant force.
Right.
And
for
they
now.
could be that.
There would have been one with the Colts if old Uncle Phil would have stayed, but old Uncle
I
Phil
like
stayed.
Prince Harry.
I will use his real name. Carson Wentz now.
I like Carson Wentz.
Whatever his name is. But
Give him a year, see what happens.
it's not like I'm not going to tune in. I got Sunday tickets, so I will tune in. But anyway. All right, now
Number
with
2
the
pick.
second pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the New York Jets select Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson, yeah.
And
I'm upset.
I'll start my reasoning off.
you
for
wanna
this
flip
one
it every
because
time?
I agree. That's fine. I agree with Ryan that it is going to be the number 2 pick. I really like Zach Wilson. I thought he was going to be the last one selected in this draft in the beginning.
This is sad.
I
I don't
thought
like
he was gonna
talking
be the
about
last-
this. I don't want to talk about it. I wanted him. We got the wrong pretty boy. I wanted that one.
I thought that.
I like Darnold, but I don't like as much as Wilson.
But I thought Zach Wilson was going to be the last quarterback selected in the first round, and I thought, well, if the Steelers are getting rid of Big Ben or Big Ben's
You thought he
retiring
fall that much?
in the beginning.
Oh, like months. Yeah.
In January. This is January, February, early February.
I thought
and
he-
then
I thought
the
he'd
draft
be
stock
there at
kept
8.
going up. Next thing you know, he's in the teens. Then he's in the 10, and then now he's at number 2.
I thought he'd be picked at like
So-
8. I thought the Panthers were going to get a steal with him.
Well,
and then all of a sudden it was
now
just...
they got Darnold. So
It's because everybody else woke up and were like, oh crap, he's good.
But I watched Zach Wilson
Oh.
in the Coastal Carolina game last year, and he
He's
was
so
phenomenal.
good.
He's got a rocket arm. He reminds me of Roethlisberger. That's why I like him. He's taller.
You know who he
6'3",
reminds me of, though?
But he's more muscular compared to Roethlisberger. But he can make throws on the run. He likes to play out of the pocket, what we call backyard football under Elway and Roethlisberger. So that's why I really liked him. And I think the Jets are going to get him. I'm looking for Robert Saleh to
Turn it around.
turn it around there. But he's a defensive guy.
Yeah.
So again,
Yeah.
delegation, the OC is going to have to help pedal Wilson on to starting his first year.
I'm terrified because number one, I was in love with Zach Wilson, and I'm really happy with Darnold. Don't get me wrong, but if you got to say which one do you want, you get either way. I want Wilson. I think Darnold can be really good, but Zach Wilson, to me, I think he plays like another Wilson named Russell. I think that's who he plays like, and I know Russell Wilson.
But
I think
Russell Wilson has to be left to cook in the kitchen.
Yeah. Russell Wilson, I think, is arguably the most unique quarterback of the last 10 years. What Wilson does, I think, is really impressive. I'm saying Lamar, we've seen a version like Lamar and Michael Vick. Mahomes, we've seen a type thing with Brett Favre. I don't think we've ever seen anything like
I
Wilson.
don't know if we can say that about Mahomes because Favre threw interceptions every 2 passes.
That's true. Mahomes, well, I was trying for once to not act like Mahomes was the second coming of Jesus Christ. And if you're going to let me, I'm going to say
Well,
it.
he's not.
He's
because
just
Jesus
amazing.
Christ would be the second coming of Jesus Christ.
Well,
so.
yes, but
I mean-
you know what I'm saying. Mahomes is amazing, but I'm saying I do think Russell Wilson arguably is the most unique NFL quarterback right now. NFL quarterback.
Right.
He is the DK Metcalf of quarterbacks, oddly enough, on the same team. Where it's just he's like what he does the things he does, no one else does with that skill set and size, is what I'm saying.
Right.
Wilson's an incredibly special guy. I think Mahomes is definitely, in my opinion, the best on field. Him and Brady are the best, but, well, he's playoff Brady. And then,
Yeah, not regular season.
yeah, regular season Brady takes a break. Mahomes is obviously the best, but I'm saying uniqueness-wise, I think there's a good argument for Wilson. But Zach Wilson, I love. My only worry is it's the Jets, and that's really all I can
They've
say.
only had one highlight ever. That was Super Bowl III, where they were underdogs and came back and they won
Yeah.
with Joe Namath. And now he is doing advertisements for either Colonial Penn or
Oh, he's in some health ad.
he's in
see it.
Medicare.
Yeah,
Medicare coverage. Yes.
Yeah, he looks pretty good for being like 70 or 80.
Yeah, I mean, yes, he's almost 80. And he was an actor post NFL
Yeah, I
career.
knew that, yeah.
So, if you don't know that. But yes, Joe Namath is...
Yeah, I'm just saying my only worry of Zach Wilson is I would much rather have seen him be on the Niners.
Joe Namath is going to be turning 78 this year, so
Wow.
we're close. Yes.
I would much rather see him on the Niners. I'd rather see him really anywhere but Detroit, like out of the top 10. But, you know...
Are we on to the Niners?
No, we're not on the Niners yet. I'm just saying, Wilson, I don't want him to get messed up because I think he's incredibly special.
I think...
And I really like him.
But we haven't seen anything yet, so that's where I'm not going to throw it down the drain until we start seeing everybody in pads. But,
So I'm saying I don't want to go too much on my Panthers, but I would have liked to get Wilson
your Panthers at number
based
8.
off what was possible. It was impossible to get Wilson. I think Darnold was the right move, but I really wish we could have gotten Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
Moving on to number 3.
Yes, and now with the 3rd overall pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers select
Mac Jones. I'm going with it. Mm-hmm. I think all the rumors that they're taking him are true. I think the rumors saying that he aren't taking him aren't true. I think they're in love with him because I think he's the arguably, past Lawrence, the safest bet. Where I don't think he's going to be as... At peak level, his ceiling is not as high as Trey Lance's, definitely. Trey Lance, I think, arguably is the highest ceiling in the draft because he's so physical. So, physicality is a lot of ceiling.
Right.
And so I'm saying Trey Lance and then probably Lawrence or Wilson. Actually, Fields might be second. I don't know. There's a lot of good physical guys. I'm saying Fields and Lance may have a higher ceiling. I think from a skill set, Lawrence is the best prospect. And I think Mac Jones is second when it comes to skill, where he is going to be a starting level guy in the NFL. I think you're making a face at me, and let me finish my point. Mm-hmm. I think he'll be a good starting guy in the NFL, but like I said, I think he's Joe Flacco level. I don't think he's going to be, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Shanahan will bust out something crazy. Mm-mm. And you're shaking your head. I think this. I don't think it's that much of an upgrade from Garoppolo, and I think you might as well take the stab at Lance. If you're not moving Garoppolo...
But you're picking Jones. You're taking my pick. I'm going for Trey Lance. I think Trey Lance...
That's the right pick, but I don't think that's what they're going to do. Right. If this is my draft, if I'm the Niners, I take Lawrence. I take Trey Lance.
Right.
But I think they're going to take Mac Jones.
Well, I'm going to say all the rumors are false, and I will say the Niners take... Trey Lance.
Well, that would be a better move.
He is a ball of raw talent.
Oh, he's so good. He's the closest prospect to Mahomes in the last couple of years.
He's a dual threat. Yes. He's tall. He has... Trevor Lawrence and Trey Lance kind of have similar builds. So, taller, got some arm
NDSU
strength,
graduate. They pump out good football players.
Yes, they do. And so that's why I think Stop that. That's why I think Trey Lance should be drafted by the 49ers. Shanahan's going to make a mistake if he takes Mac Jones. Because here's the issue. And it's going to be stereotypical here. But the Buckeyes and the Crimson Tide do not produce NFL quality quarterbacks. That's why I'm not high at all on Justin Fields or Mac Jones.
I have Fields taking a flop, so don't worry.
They cannot handle the NFL pressure coming out of that college-style offense. I think Mac Jones is going to struggle because he played behind
some of the best
offensive line in college football.
Well, he had the best Bama team ever.
Two of the best receivers in NCAA football last season. So what are you going to do?
One of the best receivers in NCAA football history.
Any of those. When you don't have any of that, not even one of those.
They have Kittle. That's it.
That's exactly why I'm going to say Trey Lance should be.
I think it should be Lance because it's a perfect Alex Smith Mahomes scenario. You have Gropp who can mentor.
You like the mentoring relationships a lot.
Well, I think it works. Every time a superstar has been mentored, they've done really well. Rodgers, Favre, Mahomes, Smith. Every time you hear about a really big mentoring thing, it turns out really good. If a good quarterback mentors a young guy, they potentially become the better quarterback, which I think has happened twice. Okay. I don't know if Rodgers might be better than Favre. I don't know. Rodgers and Favre are both really good. But I'm saying I think that's the way to go, especially because Gropp is so skill-based and not physical-based. He can teach Trey Lance exactly what he needs. Mm-hmm. And I think Lance is the ultimate ball of talent that I think everybody kind of wants a little bit, but they're not trusting. You have to trust your own ability to develop him. Right. He's the most high-risk, high-reward prospect in this entire draft, quarterback-wise. Mm-hmm. So maybe just position overall, because he could be amazing. And I think that's the move for the Niners. Set you up for the future better than Mac Jones, because I do think there's a chance Mac Jones doesn't do well. I'm saying I think Mac Jones will be solid. I don't think he's going to be crap. I don't think he's going to be all-star. Well, I guess it'd be Pro Bowl, but you know what I'm saying.
Right.
I don't think Mac Jones is going to be an MVP. I think Trey Lance could. So that's my pick, but I'm saying I think they're going to take Mac Jones. Let's move on. Number 4.
All right. And now, with the number 4 overall pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Atlanta Falcons select Kyle Pitts.
You're going to Pitts?
I'm going to go with Pitts.
You told me before you weren't.
Yeah, well, I looked at the draft needs, and they need a tight end, so it's going to be Pitts.
That's what I thought.
So Pitts is his game is, I would say, modeled more off a Travis Kelce tight end, where it's more of receiving than it is blocking.
But he can block. He can
block, but it's more of a modern tight end than an NFL pass tight end. But I think the Falcons, I don't know what happened last year. I'll tell you what happened. Every time Arthur Blank was on the field in the fourth quarter and they had a lead, they lost.
Yep.
So quit coming on the field, Arthur Blank, and let the coaches handle it. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. I think Matt Ryan's obviously staying now. Matt Ryan is still a good quarterback, so I don't know if you can really downturn that. They already have 2 good receivers. They already got Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley. Now you're going to add a very good tight end to go along with it.
Now, granted, this could have been a false rumor, but I did read a report last January. They're thinking about moving Jones.
Yeah, but I don't think that's happening now.
I don't think it would.
No.
Now, here's my thing with Pitts. I think he could probably be the best player in this draft, period. I think he'd be one of the best tight ends in the NFL. Like, he'd be the best tight end in the NFL in the next 5 years. He'd become the best tight end in the NFL. He could win NFC Rookie of the Year. I would love to see him fall to the Panthers. At 8, I would love to see the Falcons say, we want to get a quarterback for the future. We're going to take, Fields, or we're going to do – he's the Atlanta homeboy. He's not from Atlanta, but he's from Georgia,
Yeah, I do.
And so – I'd love to see that happen, because I do think the next couple picks get interesting, and I don't think they take Pitts, because you'll see that in a bit with who I say, the Dolphins and the Lions, and everything happens there. But I think Pitts is the right move. Pitts is what they'll do. So I think this one's pretty cut and dry. I think he could be the best guy in the draft, pretty much. I think coming out of this draft in 5 years, we might be talking about Lance, him, and Lawrence, I think, would be the
the top 3.
Now, I could see Wilson sneaking in there, but I don't really like a Fields odds or Mac Jones' odds compared to those guys. Or maybe Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase is a good chance, too.
Yes.
All right, but if I had to put money on it, I would go Lance, Pitts, Lawrence.
Okay. There's the money.
I threw a lot of information at you once. Sorry about that.
Yeah, but we're going to move on, because you said that's pretty much it.
Yep, number 5 pick.
Number 5, with the 5th overall pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Cincinnati Bengals select
Jamar Chase. I'm going against a lot of the mock drafts. A lot of people have them taking Sewell. I like Sewell. I think that's what makes sense with the offensive line, but I think they're going to try to sign guys because they're going to get Burrow's boy. I think it's that simple. They want to get Burrow's boy. They're going to go get Burrow's boy, and Burrow's going to have his boy, and he's going to throw the ball to his boy.
I'm going to disagree, because I think they need to take Sewell down there for the Bengals, because they need to quit bungling it up.
No, they might need it, but I don't think it's the
fix the line before Joe Burrow gets crushed again this upcoming season, if they don't start moving on that. But they do have a backup. I don't know if any of these have been signed. Have Fisher or Schwartz been signed from the Chiefs?
I don't think so.
So they could, but what they might want is they say, hey, they're both old, so maybe we'll sign one of those old guys and get this rookie. And
mentor.
No, not the mentor. It's just because the agent, it staves off.
Yes.
So that's where I think that's a possibility.
I think it's real. I almost think I think there's a better chance they take Sewell. I just got a feeling they're taking Chase because it's too perfect. He's going to be sitting there. The best wide receiver in the draft is going to be sitting there. I think Smith is really good, but I think Chase is really more physical, and physicality is really what comes out in the NFL. Happens in the NBA too.
Right.
Skills become less and physical becomes more. And skills are obviously very important, but they can be developed as physical. You can't teach height. We always talk. Can't
coach height.
Can't coach height.
Can't coach
so,
height.
and that's not the only physical thing, but I'm saying Chase is incredibly fast. Burrow and him were electric when
I
Burrow's-
know that, but if you can't protect him, he can't throw it.
I 100% agree, but I think there's a higher chance you can find a tight end on the market that's good.
Not a tight end 10.
Not a tight end, sorry. A lineman who's good than finding a wide receiver like Chase. I think they know that, and I think they're going to go for Chase.
Yes, but I
Because
think you have to.
Here's
I
the
would
argument
rather-
is wait. Okay, you go.
I would rather invest more in an offensive line that's going to protect my franchise quarterback than get him another good receiving.
I agree.
He's got.
I
decent
agree.
receiving
I agree. It
options
makes more
right
sense.
now.
I agree. What you're saying makes more sense.
Okay.
I'm saying I just have the feeling they're going to take Chase.
Okay.
On top of that, the biggest reason you're saying is for Burrow. Well, I think Burrow's probably going to want Chase. They're friends.
I don't know what Burrow wants because I don't talk to Burrow.
Well, I called him yesterday, and he said Jamar.
And he wants Jamar. Okay.
Nah.
Well, I'll tell him he wants Sewell. I just got a telegram. So
Telegram.
But okay.
Give him a fax.
Moving on with the 6th overall pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Miami Dolphins select Devontae Smith.
That's who you have them taking to?
I would go with that too because I agree with your reasoning about it. I'm going to take Ryan's thunder here.
Yep.
But because they want to give Tua Tagovailoa a comfortable target out there.
And Smith is so good.
Yes, Smith
He's amazing.
is good, and he can be able to play opposite because Miami has a couple other good receivers. So he can be able to play opposite, and that gives some comfort level out there for Tua because they obviously moved on from Fitzmagic because Fitzmagic is not staying. So we will see how this turns out, but I think it's good. I think it's gonna be a good pick by Flores, and hopefully this gets them into the playoffs this year.
I don't understand why people don't like Tua for them. I don't understand. It's like, yes, he was out of the big 3 rookie quarterbacks last year, he was the weakest. But and granted, Burrow was exceptional and Herbert was downright outstanding. Mm-hmm. So it's like you can't expect him to be as good as Herbert. Herbert was amazing, and he was the one everybody was writing off. And Burrow was really good, as everybody expected. So it's like Tua, I think Tua is still going to be really good, and I think he's still their franchise guy. Now, granted, if they get Devontae Smith and he doesn't do well, then you start questioning things. I think this is really a power play for them. It's like, well, if he doesn't do well, Smith, we're done.
Yeah,
we're done here.
Exactly.
But I don't think
rid of Tua. So
exactly. So I think this is the move. I think the only way they were going to get a new quarterback is if they could get Watson for cheap, and that's obviously
they're not.
That ain't happening. So let's move down to the next pick.
Yes, moving on. And now with the 7th overall pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select.
I'm going to go for trade here with the Broncos. And I think the Broncos are taking Trey Lance because I have them taking Trey Lance. Trey Lance, I think, fits there perfectly.
And what's the Broncos' original pick?
9.
Okay.
It's just a slight swap, and I think the Lions are going to go defense anyway. So I think the Lions aren't worried about it. I think they're going to run Goff. Here's what I'm saying. Here's my thought. Here's my Lions part. I'll start with the Lions.
Okay.
So the Lions, I think, are going to run Goff, and if things go badly, who cares for the Lions? They'll draft a new quarterback.
Back off the Lions.
Well, I'm saying they're the kings of having one amazing player and a crap team around them.
I know.
Barry Sanders, Matthew Stafford. Goodness. I think the Rams this year are a legit Super Bowl contender with him.
I know. Everybody's talking high on them, and then wait till they get bounced out in the first round. Too much talk.
Well, I'm saying I wouldn't put money on them, but they'd probably be my 3rd or 4th bet.
Your 3rd or 4th. Behind Chiefs and the Bucks.
Yep.
And the Steelers.
No. I put the Browns before the Steelers. I like the Browns.
Okay.
Well, maybe we'll be going to SoFi, though. If the Steelers are in the Super Bowl, we'll go to SoFi. We'll go to LA. I don't like LA, so we're not going.
You don't even give LA a chance. You're
right. I should give LA a chance.
You don't even never been.
The Dodgers and Lakers have ruined it for me.
Okay, but that's just sports. You got to go to Hollywood, the Walk of Fame, those kinds of things, the Wax Museum.
But people will wear Dodgers hats, and then I'll be angry.
Well, why don't you just not wear a Dodgers hat and wear Cleveland Indians?
No, other people will wear Dodgers
Cleveland
hats, and I'll be sad.
Okay, I don't know.
I'm kidding.
It's just
no, you're right.
You can't win with this argument right now.
I know. I'm kidding.
Ahead.
I'm kidding.
Go ahead. Back to Ryan.
All right.
Because he's trading with the Broncos.
All right. Here's why. I think the Lions are just gonna. It's the Lions and Trey Lance. I think fits beautifully the Broncos. My biggest issue with the Broncos is they have great weapons. They just don't have a great quarterback. And I know everybody's like, well, they haven't really given Drew Lock a chance. Drew Lock, the best version of Drew Lock, is barely a wild card spot. He's not that amazing. So go with Trey Lance. He's got all the
But he
physical tools.
almost beat the Chiefs last year.
You're right. I mean, you put a monkey on a typewriter, eventually he types the Declaration of Independence.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Where that came from, but whatever.
I'm saying if somebody does something long enough, eventually they'll do something right.
Okay. Anyway, Moo.
You don't like my metaphor?
I've never heard that.
You've never heard that before. It's pretty common. I've heard people say it.
On a typewriter.
Yeah.
Specifically.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I said keyboard maybe, but...
Well, I mean, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
They still type things.
Yeah. So basically the point is, though, I don't think... having one good game against the Chiefs that you still lost, I don't think means anything.
Okay.
Drew Lock is in the move. Trey Lance, I think, has some Elway type qualities.
Like I mentioned, yes.
I think they can draft him, and he's already got CeeDee Lamb. Not CeeDee Lamb, sorry. It's Jerry Jeudy.
Yep.
Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah.
Jerry Jeudy with the Broncos, and, Philip Lindsay's still there. He's
No.
No, he's not.
not.
No, he's not. I don't know why I said that. I was thinking about, where is Philip Lindsay? Crap.
He's a free agent.
Oh, that's where he
I
is.
believe so.
Yeah, you check that while I talk.
I'm checking. Trying to add, but I can't.
Basically, what I'm saying, though, is I think Trey Lance is the move because he really benefits that offense from every perspective. They have good weapons.
He was signed by the Texans.
He was signed by the Texans. Oh, crap. He's going to the forest fire.
He might be the Smokey Bear for the forest fire. He might be the Smokey Bear.
I like
Smokey
Philip
the
Lindsay.
Bear.
I don't think he's the Smokey the Bear level.
Yeah, well, you know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Um,
Anyway.
Well, what I was going to say, though, is Trey Lance, I think, would be a great move for that franchise, and I think that'd really reinvigorate the Broncos. So I think that's the best.
That's a big word. I like that.
Yeah, I do think that's the best move for the Broncos, and you already have Trey Lance off the board, so I'm very interested to see what happens for you.
Well, we're not trading with the Broncos here from the Lions. I'm going to stay there, and I'm going to select Jamar Chase in that spot because they need a bigger target for Goff. They've lost Galladay and free agency to the New York Giants. They don't have a number one receiver.
No,
So
they don't.
that's where they're going to draft Jamar Chase. As we saw with Justin Jefferson, I think LSU can turn out receivers. So, thanks to Coach O, Chase is going to Detroit. And he gets to play in a dome. So being in the South, playing where it's warmer in football, he will not get too cold when it's snowing in Detroit.
That's a good point.
So,
That's a good point.
I figure
So they play their interdivision games, and they're at
Right.
they're at
When in
Minnesota and Green Bay.
No, Minnesota's in a dome.
Oh, you're right. They are done.
Only two are in domes, Minnesota and
Green Bay. Green
and
Bay's the big cold
and Detroit,
one.
and and Green Bay and Chicago are both
Is
outside.
Green Bay the coldest stadium then? Because we don't have a Canadian team. Like
It
out
could
of all
be either that or Buffalo
Buffalo can get cold. You're
or
right.
Foxborough.
I think it's probably
New England.
Buffalo or Green Bay. I don't think.
Yeah,
Fox-
I mean, obviously it was Buffalo when they were playing in Toronto usually at the end of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
season. But they're not there anymore, so. But that's all I got to say there. That's what I think the Lions are going to do.
You got to admit though, the Trey Lance pick's more fun.
I know it's more fun, but it should be more fun for Trey Lance to be in San Francisco than to be stuck.
Well, I
somewhere
don't get
else.
his hopes up because he's not going to go there. They're
I
going to take
know.
Mac Jones.
Yeah.
Let's go down to the 8 pick, my Panthers.
I'm not going to believe it until I hear Roger Goodell say it. So that's how it's going to be. Yes, and to number 8 to Ryan's favorite team with the 8th overall pick in the 2021 NFL Draft. The Carolina Panthers select.
Benai Sewell. I think it's the move.
You think it's the move?
Yep, because on my board he's
already
still
got-
there.
He's already gone on my board.
I know. So I think if he isn't there, I think Patrick Surtain or Micah Parsons is a good look. We don't really need wide receivers. Really, just all the boring positions is what we need. Not to be that way, but you know what I'm saying. Like we have the wide
Yes.
receiver, we have the sexy positions down.
Right.
We have a running back, one of the best running backs in the NFL.
Right.
DJ Moore, I think, is vastly underrated at wide receiver. We've still got Robbie
Yes.
Anderson. We
Yeah.
lost Curtis Samuel, but we still, we've got guys to back him up.
Right.
I trust Matt Rule
Right.
and the wide receiver coaching.
Right.
And we still got Joe Brady, thank the Lord, that offensive coordinator. I think he's really going to bolster the offense. We got Sam Darnold. I really like that. Just because he's Zach Wilson doesn't mean he's not good. Not everybody can be Zach Wilson because Zach Wilson's really good.
Yeah.
But, okay, one thing, quick side. Do you ever think about like players, like how they're going to look in a jersey? You know what I mean? Be like, oh, I just can't see it.
No, I don't.
That's just me. All right. Zach Wilson in a New York jersey does not look as good as Zach Wilson in a Panthers jersey. Because he's got the bleach blonde hair. Like, that'd be sweet. He kind of looks like a
He's
outer...
like a surfer boy.
Yeah, like Surfer Boy, and he could be in Carolina. But no, they're going to put Surfer Boy in New York. You agree with what I'm saying, though, don't you? Like, Trevor Lawrence in Jacksonville. That makes sense. That feels right. I'm just saying.
I've never... yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I don't see that. I don't have those visions, but...
What I was going to say, though, is I think it's the right move getting the offensive line because we need defense and O-line. So, Benai Sewell is the move. If he's not there, Micah Parsons or Patrick Surtain.
Yeah. Well, I think, yes, the Panthers need a cornerback, so I am going to give them Patrick Surtain, the second. And they need help on defense because they got carved up last year.
Yep.
So we'll see. I think he can plug and play, obviously, Surtain into that lineup immediately. So that's going to help them out on the defensive side of the ball. Their offensive line, I know it says that their needs are in offensive tackle, but I think it's not too shabby. Plus, also, this is a deep class for offensive tackles here. So if they want to wait until the second round, I think they can handle it.
Yeah, that is a really good point. Because if Sewell's not there, you might as well just not even try to
Right, you might as well wait. So,
or Slater's good, Rashawn Slater, but
yes, I like Tevin Jenkins.
I don't think Slater is. I would take Slater over Patrick or Micah Parsons. I really like Micah Parsons.
Okay,
he'll be showing up soon. Well, not really. Actually, no, because we're not going to go past 10. I want to do 11 because you see what my 11 pick is, and I want to talk about that. We're going 11.
Okay, Jerry.
Sorry.
His name was 9. His perfect number is 9. So that's what this 9 is now. So 9.
Who do you have the Lions taking then?
Well, I don't because I don't have the
Broncos.
Broncos.
Who do you have the Broncos take? Do you even take Mac Jones?
Well,
do your little intro.
All right. I got to make sure I know what I'm talking about. All right. With the 9th overall pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Denver Broncos select Micah Parsons.
Oh, boo.
They need a linebacker to pair with Von Miller.
No, you're right, but that is so unexciting, and it's probably true. I feel like you're going to be right, and I hate it. And I hate that, because that's so boring.
But I'm just telling you.
You got to agree with me, though. That's pretty bloody boring.
On their needs on the NFL Network, they have linebacker in order, from greatest to least. Linebacker, cornerback, quarterback. So I think they're going to prioritize the defense there with an LB and a CD.
I think that's completely... If they don't get Lance, if Lance isn't sitting there either through a trade or, naturally sitting there, I do think they want Lance, though. I'm serious. I think he's... Lance, Broncos, come on. That just sounds like it fits. Trey Lance for the Denver Broncos.
Okay.
Come on.
Well, they have an outdoor stadium at North Dakota State because he's already playing in cold weather. Yeah. So that's good.
I think so. I think so. I think so, actually, now I'm thinking about it, because I've seen some footage.
So you're taking...
I'm taking them to... This is the Lions now.
This is the Lions, because remember, he's traded the 7th and 9th
I'm having them take Surtain.
Okay.
The second.
Okay.
Patrick Surtain the second. I think that's the right move for the Lions. They're going to run with Goff. They're going to have to suck it up from the offensive perspective with not very good wide receivers, and they're going to be like, hey, Surtain can be good. Plus, for some reason, Jeff Okudah wasn't really that good for them last year. So they're going to hope Jeff Okudah steps it up.
Right.
And just take another cornerback.
Well, remember, that was his rookie year.
Yep.
So you always take a sophomore jump. Always, usually.
Yep.
So that's where I can't disagree on that. So, but...
Let's go to number 10.
Yep, number 10. How about them Cowboys? Yeah. With the 10th overall pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Dallas Cowboys select
Micah Parsons. He's really good. He's really good, and I don't really have anything else to say other than that. He's really good. I think he's got all the tools to be a Pro Bowl level, linebacker. He's really talented, really fast, really quick. There's a lot of really good linebackers and edges anymore in the NFL, but I think he is really good. There's always one in the top. There's always a top linebacker edge guy. The Bosa brothers had that. Last year was Chase Young. That you're like, ooh, he could be good. And he's this draft's one. I don't think he's as good as Chase Young or the Bosa. I think Chase Young is arguably the best one we've seen in the last couple of years. Nick Bosa is really good, and so is Joey. But Chase Young was incredible.
On the edge?
Yeah.
What about TJ Watt?
Oh, he's good too, yeah. I like Chase Young a lot because he's really freaking fast.
Yes.
And he's
the
big.
Washington football team is on the right path of that defense.
You and I are both WFT supporters.
I am. I like.
No, we
Ron
both
Rivera.
are. We were going
I
off.
really-
Okay, you know what I thought of? The Bucks' closest playoff game was against Taylor Heineke.
It was.
Can you imagine Taylor Heineke and then win
you
that game and they
that
go to the Super
football
Bowl?
team had plenty of chances to win that game.
Yeah.
So,
Dude, Quinn, like, I really like that team. I hope they can really. I don't know what they're gonna do quarterback wise.
well, you got Fitzmagic.
Yeah, maybe
And
that's the
Heineke.
move. Yeah, and Heineke, that just all the fun guys.
So I
all
think
the
it's
fan
gonna,
favorites.
You know what I see Rivera doing? Just what Flores did. He put Heineke in the start and those kinds of things, and you have Fitzmagic come in if he needs help for the veteran presence.
Yeah.
Again. So I don't know. I think it's possible.
You and I are gonna be watching a lot of WFT games and talking about it.
Yes, I'll
Because
plug it in.
I'm a big.
on the NFL.
You and I are both big Washington supporters. I think they're fun.
Yes. So
Are they NFC?
they're the NFC East,
They're
the
NFC
worst
East.
division.
Yeah, the worst.
And
Yeah, they're NFC East.
If you haven't noticed here, that the NFC East, all four of their teams. I'm sorry, not all four. I forgot.
three
We
out
have
of
to give Washington football team to the 19th overall pick because they were
Made
the
the
division
playoffs, yeah.
winner. If they were not the division winner, they really should be more or less right off. They're all three in a row: Cowboys, Giants, Eagles, and really, you can put the WFT right there, popping off right around the 14th overall pick if you could do it by that, but
Yeah.
you can't. But anyway, my selection for the Cowboys, I'm having a tough decision here between them selecting a cornerback and an offensive tackle. I'm going to make them take the jump for an OT to help out Dak Prescott, who just signed an over $40 million per year deal. And I'm going to have them take Rashawn Slater to plug and play there quickly.
He'd be good.
Him or, a lot of people are saying the Steelers could get a steal with Tevin Jones at pick number 24. I don't think he's going to last that long. But one of those two, they need a plug-and-play tackle immediately. That line was atrocious last year for the Cowboys.
Yep.
So, now Ryan wants to reveal his number 11 overall pick. I will not, because it's the New York Giants, and he's going to give his reasoning for why he selected this player.
I'm going to Fields for them. I've had Fields fall a lot. I think that's the spot he'll land. I think it's who they want because I do not think Daniel Jones is the move, and I think they know that. And I think Fields at face value would be about as good as him. I'm not high on Daniel Jones at all. And I think Fields would be about as good as him. Fields provides something that he doesn't, which is specialty. He's different. Daniel Jones' peak is really not that exciting, whereas I think Justin Fields at peak value could be a really good player. Mm-hmm. I don't think he'll hit that peak value, but the potential is there to be a really good quarterback. Mm-hmm. He probably won't hit it, but you might as well take that jump. You're the Giants, and you're going to be not as interesting as the Jets very soon as Zach Wilson lives up to what I believe he can be. So that's my pick for them, and let's talk about the really quick. Do we want to say what we think the Patriots are doing?
I don't care about the
You don't care
Patriots at all.
You don't care. Okay. Well, I think there's a good chance they take Trask, but I don't think that they're really gonna.
I think they will take Mac Jones.
You think he's gonna fall? If Mac Jones is there, I'm 100% sure they take him.
Yeah.
But I don't think Mac Jones will be there. No,
I
I thought that when he was at college that he was Brady-esque. Even before the draft crap started. I thought they would take Jones, but Jones is fired up with the Niners talk.
I know.
If the Niners talk is BS, like you say, I would put money immediately. I'd have somebody go to DraftKings immediately and put money on the Patriots taking him because I think that could happen.
Right.
And but I do think Mac Jones is going to Niners, like I said.
Right.
So I'm going to switch over to my Browns pick. I have a pick I want for the Steelers, but you and I have talked about who I think the Steelers should pick, and I hope you went with who I think because I truly believe it's the right pick.
You want me to go Steelers first because they're before the Browns?
Oh crap, they are, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
First time in a while, ever. So anyway, I have my Pittsburgh Steelers selecting Najee Harris of Alabama.
Good pick.
Because
right pick. Yep.
this is why. And this is why. People, I follow a couple Twitter pages. One's called Steelers Depot. Another one is called Blitzburg. And Blitzburg is very high on Najee Harris. And then Steelers Depot is iffy between that and a tackle. So here's the thing. Like I told Ryan earlier, I said this is a tackle-heavy class. What I would be doing is drafting a running back in the first round, a center in the second round, and then a tackle in the third. and then a tight end in the 4th. Basically, all the picks are going to go on offense compared to defense in the last few years. And then you figure out you probably got to plug and play somewhere. You can maneuver some pieces where you can plug and play because you need another inside linebacker, another outside linebacker.
We both know the Steelers are the kings of the second-round steal, too.
Yes.
Chase Claypool, Juju Smith.
Yes.
Their second-round picks are great.
So we'll see what comes out after the first round. But yes, here the biggest thing is this. When Franco Harris was drafted into the NFL in 1972 for the Steelers, they went from being a mid-level rushing team to being one of the top rushing teams immediately. Jumped up a bunch of spots. I believe it was 12 spots they've jumped up.
Wow.
So that's what I'm saying. And the line was not that great then. That's what you need. You need that, and then you can fix the line as we go. We're going to have some plug-and-play pieces there that we got in free agency that used to be former Steelers. Might get a draft pick there. We'll see what happens. But that's what I like. And now on to the 26th overall pick for the Cleveland Browns by Ryan Klinger.
I'm going to go, I don't want to butcher her name. It's Levi Onwuzurike. Something like that. You look it up for me. Mm-hmm. He's a defensive tackle. He's big. He's obviously talented enough to be a first-rounder. I'm not 100% sure if he will be sitting there, though, because there's a lot of teams like the Bears could definitely look at him. The Titans could give him a look. I think potentially the Jets at 23 could give him a look. Maybe even Washington.
Onwuzurike.
Mm-hmm. And I can't remember what college is he from. What college is he from?
And he is from
Washington. Yeah. I've seen some highlights of him. He's really good. Can you tell me his height?
I believe it was 6'8".
Yeah. So he's big. And I think that could really benefit that defense. Obviously, they have the good pass rush now with Garrett and Clowney. And I just think the defensive tackle would really benefit them because I really think the Browns are set up nicely. They don't really have to change much. And their offensive line's good. And I think that'd be a really nice thing to have help out the...
correct me. It's 6'3".
6'3". Okay, well, that's still pretty big.
I was guessing 6'8".
That's still pretty big for a guy, I'm saying.
Yes, and he's going to fill in Sheldon Richardson's hole that's left in the defense.
Exactly. So I think that's really the right move. I think that's what they'll end up doing, to be honest, if he's sitting there. So, yeah, that is the entire Big Salad mock draft.
Yes. So now we're going to move on to baseball. And what Ryan really enjoyed this past weekend.
That was good.
Ryan, what do you think about last weekend's Dodgers versus Padres series?
Well, I was incredibly excited for the game Sunday night. As soon as I saw
it was on Sunday Night Baseball, right?
Sunday Night Baseball. Matt
Vasgersian.
Matt Vasgersian was the.
Okay.
I love Matt Vasgersian. He's actually my favorite for baseball. He's great. He got a nice smooth voice. Incredibly funny, really entertaining. A-Rod was the color, and A-Rod is arguably the weirdest human being on the planet. I think he...
Well, I mean, are him and J-Lo still together? That's more
They didn't talk about it.
During one of the playoff series, this is 4 years ago, this fall, there's this video of Alex Rodriguez, excuse me, I just totally tongue-tied myself.
Yeah.
Alex Rodriguez, Frank Thomas, and Pete Rose talking about hitting all that for about 7 minutes.
Yeah.
It is amazing. I don't think he was an odd duck there. I thought he was very confident.
I'm just saying, there's I don't know, just sometimes he gives interviews. He has odd quirks. I don't know.
I don't know. He's been on Shark Tank. I've never noticed that, so.
It's something with... It's like he's trying to act genuine, but it's got this falsity. I don't know how to describe it. It just gives me chill. I'm not the only person who feels this way.
I know.
I
don't feel that way, but that's me. So.
I know that there's Yankees fans that I listen to their podcast every time, and they always talk about how weird A-Rod is.
Okay.
Their direct quote was, he acts like an alien.
I'm going to trust your judgment, so.
I think he's just an odd duck. The way he acts, just kind of odd.
But anyway, what do you think about the Dodgers-Padres?
All right, so really excited to have the girlfriend over for the Sunday night game. Made plans for everything. I was very excited because I knew it was going to be an absolute hood classic. They had No Joe on the mound. Very excited. And number one, biggest thing, I guess to probably run through the game. So started off the game. Musgrove's pitching pretty well. No hits. I think first 2 innings. Top of the third, I want to say. The Dodgers, not top of the third, be bottom of the third. Dodgers, we were at L.A. I hate L.A. Dodgers, so that was really angering. I wish they were at Petco Park, but Dodgers get up 2-0. Tatis ends up coming up top of the fourth, hits a home run because he's Tatis, and he's one of the best players in the MLB. Hits that deep home run. I was like, hey, that's his first one tonight. See if he can do it again, because he hit 2 off Kershaw Friday, 2 off Bauer Saturday. He was going to hit 2 again off Dustin May. So, the Dodgers, and this is another reason I don't like the Dodgers, is because they have 3 of the top 15 best pitchers. They got Kershaw, who I'd say probably about 13th or 12th. Bauer, who I'd say is 5th, and Buehler, who I'd say is 4th, Walker Buehler, which is quite a mouthful. Walker Buehler. But, and then they got Dustin May, who's also really good. But lucky for me, they weren't lucky for the Padres, they were not pitching Walker Buehler. They were pitching Dustin May, who is their 4th best pitcher. But they're the Dodgers, and they're really good, so he's still really good. He pitched a heck of a game. But Tatis hits a home run off him. It's 2-1. I go and fill out my mock draft. Come back. It's all falling apart. I want to say it's 4-1. So I'm like, crap. So watch the game. They end up going up 7-1 after another hit that inning. I think this point is bottom of the 5th or bottom of the 6th. And I'm like, oh crap. All right, well, I'm going to stay up and I want to watch the end of this game. Come on, Padres. They can get through it. Then they just momentum starts going their way. It's 8-9-1 is up, and the 8 batter gets on. They pinch hit a guy. He doesn't get on. I think he strikes out. Tatis comes up, gets a beautiful hit. Thought it was going out, but he didn't hit it with the big power swing. He held back on the swing. You can see it because he was trying to just get a base hit because he didn't want to hit a home run and then just make the other guy have to hit a home run, to get the more scores. So he hits a nice base hit. Then they get another hit. Machado gets another hit. I forget who the 2 guy is. All of a sudden, it slipped my mind. And then Hosmer gets a hit, and next thing you know, 7-7. A couple hits. Hosmer gets the hit. They roll on, and it's 7-7. Tatis is up for the home run, top of the 9th. And as I said to my mother, I'm like, well, he's Tatis, and I'm expecting him to hit a home run and save the game. But at the same time, I can't always act like he's the perfect human being. Like, I can't always expect him to be just that amazing.
Right.
And he ended up striking out, which is shocking. Goes to extra innings. I end up going to bed because it's getting real late, and I'm like, oh, crap, I got to go to bed. So I go to bed, wake up the next morning, figure out the winning run slid in, Tatis Jr., and they got the Dodgers out, bottom of the 11th. Goes to extra innings. So Padres win 3 out of the 4 games this series. Great series. Legitimately the best rivalry in the MLB. I was just thinking to myself, I'm like, oh my gosh, the MLB is so happy that this rivalry is legit. Like, they legitimately don't like each other with that big controversy. And it's not really a controversy. Matt Vasgersia's commentary on the controversy was quite funny. Mm-hmm. He's like, yeah, you can't even see the sign. Because there's this big thing about Tatis Jr. They think he looked at the sign, and Trevor Bauer says he thinks he looked at his sign. Trevor Bauer's kind of poking fun. And he's Trevor Bauer, so he's kind of kidding. But there's a little bit of truth there. And my opinion is he can't see the sign from there. And the other thing is there was a ball anyway, and he had to reach crazy for it. So I don't think Tatis Jr. is looking at signs. I think he just glanced down, and he couldn't even see it. The knee's covering it anyway.
Right.
I showed Quinn the clip earlier, and Quinn was like, yeah, it's no. Yeah. But regardless of that, the rivalry's legit. The LA people do not like the Padres guys, and the Padres do not like the LA people. Mm-hmm. Part of it I do think is fun is that they kind of stole their football team. So that thing is probably part of the reason San Diego doesn't like them.
Right.
And I think there's this real, element to it where it's like the underdogs versus the big superheroes, where it's like the Dodgers are one of the most moneyed teams in the MLB. They're crazy with how many guys they sign every year. They're constantly getting all-star players. And the Padres have never won a World Series. So there's this real, it feels like an economic struggle almost, where it's like the poor underdog against the rich villain. What?
I don't know. You're getting at some crazy metaphors tonight. I don't know where you're coming up with them, but
all right. Well, I'm saying it's how it feels. It's like Lex Luthor against like small town Clark Kent. That's how it feels.
Okay.
But and Tatis being the son of Krypton. See, it's like it all works. He's
okay.
Superman. But Kyle, yeah, Tatis, Kyle. It's close enough. But it was a great series. That last game was. What more do you want in the baseball game? But really, my only issue with the Padres at the moment is I think Tingler's too quick to pull the starters. Joe had only given up, I want to say, he had probably given up 5 or 6 hits, but he'd only given up 2 runs, and he still took him out. He got him out of a couple jams, and I was like, I would keep him in until something really goes wrong, but that's me. I mean, I think both teams ended up using about 5 or 6 pitchers, which is insane.
Right.
But this
Those
is
11-inning games.
this is the most moneyed rivalry in the MLB right now.
Right.
And if all goes well, they should be playing against each other in the pennant or the DS, because these are two of the best teams in baseball, both World Series contenders. I still do have the Braves losing the White Sox in the World Series, but because I can't change that now, it's recorded and put out there. That's officially my beginning of season prediction.
Right, yeah.
I'll have a different prediction once like the playoffs start probably, but my official start of the season prediction was White Sox over Braves. I still think it's very possible. But the Padres, I wouldn't be shocked at all if they were in the World Series or won it, because they're a great baseball team, and I really like that they're rivals with the Dodgers because I hate the Dodgers, and I really like the Padres. So great series. I'll pretty much watch every single time they play the Dodgers, and Tatis is easily the coolest player in baseball, and he reminds me a lot of Ken Griffey. So, past that, I mean, if you're not watching the Padres and Dodgers games when they play, if you're a person who doesn't watch baseball, watch those games, because they're great. They both got great pitching. They both got great players. They both got a lot of personality. That's exactly the money. That's the money. Where the money's at right now in baseball, and I think they're living up to what they're supposed to be. And it feels very real. It's not like they're forcing a rivalry. They legit don't like each other. So, yeah, I was incredibly happy with it. Loved it. And hopefully the Padres are going to end up beating them in the playoffs, because I hate the Dodgers.
I think when reflecting, because they've already played twice. They've already had 2 series here. And I think people just need reminded that it's April. This is baseball.
It's a marathon.
Do not call me until September when you're concerned about a team. Now, I do agree. They could have potentially went down 9 games under the Dodgers' first place lead. But no, they fought back, and they were in reasonable striking distance for San Diego. So, but I think people need reminded it's April. I mean, it's too early. We don't know what's going to happen. Divisions are still shaking up and shaking out. So we're going to see what's going to happen in the next 2, 3, 4 months. And we usually went to the All-Star break. We obviously know who the favorites are then. Then we come into that rounding curve, that right there that we close out on. Right there. Yep.
The August and September
dog days. September. Right when we get to September, once we hit Labor Day, we're going to know who's going to be winning divisions and who's going to be going to the playoffs and the wild card. So I think people just need to calm down about the Dodgers-Padres and just let things play out. But that's me.
Yep.
So, all right. Today we're playing What's the Word for our little game. So our first What's the Word is Fernando Tatis Jr.'s home run against Trevor Bauer 2 nights ago was blank.
I'd say sweet. I mean, I know it sounds so dumb, but Tatis has got one of the smoothest swings I've seen, and this isn't just me being a big Tatis homer, but I'm saying literally homer, get it? He has got a really smooth swing. It's one of the things I always talk about Griffey, is like how nice, clean swing he had. And it was just sweet moment. It's going to be a lot of highlight reels.
Griffey, are you saying Griffey Senior or Junior?
Junior. They always talk about Junior had like a really slick swing, and I think Tatis has that. And 2 of the best players in the game, and one stepped up for the home run. I think it's pretty sweet.
My word's going to be vengeful, because Bauer and Tatis had some words after the first series.
Yep.
So I think it's very vengeful by Tatis to hit not only 1, but 2 home runs off of Trevor Bauer, the Cy Young winner for
the
NL last year. So I think I thought it was very good revenge for Tatis. He's definitely proving that he is back to full strength after his shoulder injury he briefly had earlier this month. But I think vengeful is what's fitting. It is sweet and it is vengeful, because revenge sometimes is sweet for people. So
yeah,
I think it's a good combination of words.
Revenge is a dish best served cold and preferably sweet.
Oh, yikes. But anyway.
It's like ice cream.
Yes, but ice cream is not vengeful.
No, ice cream's not vengeful.
No.
Ice cream's quite nice.
It is quite nice. But moving on to the second What's the Word, James Harden's injury blanks the Brooklyn Nets' chance to win the NBA championship.
I don't know what the word here would be. I think it's harmful, but really not that much. I mean, I don't know what to say. I'm going to go ineffective, because he's going to be out for a bit, but I don't think it's going to completely derail them. I think they're still a legit contender. I mean, Is the word that he's officially done?
No, he's not done.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So,
But
I mean, here's my thing. Everybody's argument with the Nets is, well, they don't have the chemistry, and I 100% agree. But I think the NBA champion has a high chance to not be the Lakers or the Nets. I think, here's a weird thing. You're pointing at me. Okay, you're agreeing. Okay. What I'm gonna say though is,
I tried to tell you that earlier, and you wouldn't.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you. Here's my point. I think
the Suns
odds wise, if I had to, I always give you my betting thing.
I know.
If I had to write out percent wise, right? Like, what are the odds? The highest odds by far would be the Nets and Lakers, because it's really hard to bet against those players.
Right.
But we know that just because you have the best odds doesn't mean there's 1 in 100 outcomes. Doesn't mean you're going to get the one that 50 of the outcomes are.
Right.
You can catch one of those odd 49. Or, odd 50. The odd 50 instead of the majority 50.
Right.
So, I'm saying it feels like the majority, if we ran the NBA playoffs 100 times, the majority would be Nets, Lakers. But I just got a feeling that it's not going to be one of those. So, that's how I feel about the whole NBA thing. Where it's like, if somebody said, gun to your head, you have to guess who's going to win the NBA title, I'm going to go Nets, Lakers. One of the two.
Uh-huh.
But in my legitimate prediction right now, I'd love to see it be Sixers, Jazz, or Suns. If you told me the Knicks could win, I'd lose my freaking mind.
Yeah, well, that's not happening.
It's not going to happen. But the Sixers, Jazz, Suns, I actually like the Jazz more than the Suns. I'm sorry, Quinn.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
No, but I had to get you on the Utah train earlier because you were not on the Utah train.
Not yet. I am not quick to jump on the hot train.
I'm not. Okay. This was like February.
They got hot in January.
Exactly. So this is post-hot. And
yeah,
you still weren't hot on them then.
Yeah.
You did not warm up to them until about the last 2-3 weeks.
I haven't warmed up to them I warmed up to them about a couple weeks ago. You're right.
Exactly.
I was
trying to convince
I
you
am very complacent when it comes to NBA. NBA is the one I'm most complacent with.
I know.
Because I'm such a stickler with NBA. I watch a lot of basketball. So I am not quick to stop believing in teams and start believing in others.
Right.
I really like the Jazz. I think they are a better team than the Suns. I think the Suns are really, really fun, but the Jazz got that championship quality I don't think the Suns currently possess. So that's what I'm going to say about the Jazz. But the Harden thing hurts them. Now you got me thinking about the Sixers-Jazz finals, and now my mouth's watering. That'd be really fun. I'm
for your next show.
I got to get a drink. Yeah, Harden, I think it's not good for the Nets, but I think they'll end up being fine. I don't think it really affects them that much. And I'd like to see them not win the title, so let's hope it really... Fun fact, I really don't like James Harden, so I'm fine with this.
Okay. My word's going to be determines. I think this injury determines the Brooklyn Nets.
Really? So you think it's a big deal?
I do think it's a big deal. I think you cannot win. I think that team has to have all of its superstars on the court.
Well, they got Nicholas Claxton still.
Yeah, who's that guy?
That's not sarcasm. He's good. I'm actually serious. Nicholas Claxton is a really young player for the Nets. He's actually really underrated for them. He can do a lot around the basket. He's bigger. He can get rebounds. He can shoot from deep. I think he will actually be a really key component in them going into the playoffs. It's the little guys that matter in the playoffs.
Right, but I still think Harden's injury, because he's been playing more the one than Kyrie.
Yeah.
So that's where I think he determines he's supposed to be the fourth.
I agree.
So
I think he's the catalyst for them.
That's where it determines them.
I agree.
That's where it determines the chances for the Nets. So I think they can still make the conference finals, but I am out. The jury's out on them making the NBA finals.
I agree.
I'm in for the Sixers.
Me too. Me too.
But, all right. Moving on to our last What's the Word. Alex Smith's retirement announcement last Monday was blank.
I'm going to say, I'm going to go heartwarming because I feel like it's really impressive we got to see him in an NFL stadium again, throwing the football and playing football. It's nice to know that his career wasn't ended by that injury and that he still got to play games and end his career properly.
Right. I'm going to say disheartening because I really wanted him to play another season, a full season.
Yeah, I can see that.
And that's where I think, especially with the reports coming out now that the Washington football team did not even want to even tease a comeback for him at Washington, that I think that really hurt what he did. I mean, he played magnificently last season, being able to come back after that injury over 2 years ago. But I wish he would have been able to come back for a full season, show everybody what he's got, especially behind a good offensive line, and go on. But he was an Urban Meyer quarterback.
Yeah.
At Utah Utes. So, but yeah, I just thought it was disheartening because I really wanted him to come back for another season and then end it next year after that. But, all right. That's it for What's the Word. Moving on to Ryan's special section.
All right, so I told you that the Padres-Dodgers is going to be my special segment before the show, and then I was like, actually, no, just make that a regular segment. I'm changing it, because, and as always, I usually end up changing it before because I like to surprise you. So, over the weekend, I was thinking about the Cincinnati Reds and their run they'd been on and Joey Votto and all that. And I thought, I was like, my entire life, it feels like Joey Votto's been talked about by Reds fans, because I know a lot of Reds fans are always like, oh, Joey Votto, he's so good. He's a really good Canadian. I was like, yeah, the Canadian guy. And he's really good at baseball. And, I was always like, yeah, he's a pretty good first baseman, whatever. He won an MVP one time. Yeah, cool. And I was like, the other day I was sitting there and I was like, how good is Joey Votto? Turns out he is really good. So I went to his baseball reference page. His career batting average is 303. His on base is 418. His slugging's 516. And his OPS plus, which is one of my favorite stats, the MLB average is 100. He is a 147. So 47 better than the MLB average for a career. So, and I think all those numbers are the same as his 162 game averages because he's, majority he's played 162 games. Right. So, anytime you're batting over 300 for your career,
it's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
In today's terms.
Yep. And 418 on base.
Yes, he's very good at drawing walks.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So I was just thinking it was like, and really his
discipline at the
I should have looked at his WAR, but we all know that's going to be really good because he is, I think his biggest asset his whole career has been his defense. That's always been his best part. He's an incredibly good defensive first baseman. And that's why I looked at his offensive stats. I'm like, really, how good is Joey Votto? And I was sitting there and I was like, oh crap, he's probably a first ballot Hall of Famer. Like, I'm serious. He's got the MVP. I'm serious.
He's got no championships, though.
And that's the one thing he doesn't have.
When they were really good.
That's the one thing he doesn't have. But I'm saying, I was like, it was just weird because I'm like, I guess I'm underrating Votto because I'm so used to people talking about how good he is that I don't really think anything of it. I just think he's overrated because I'm so used to people talking about him to the point where now I've underrated him because I assumed he was overrated.
Right.
So, yeah, I'm just saying, Joey Votto, quite impressive. And that was just my kind of big
special section is to be shocked by Joey Votto's career statistics.
Everybody pay attention to Joey Votto because he's legitimately
and hopefully
one of the top Reds players.
And hopefully my Red legs are not tumbling down an avalanche because they've lost 5 in a row, maybe 6 in a row. Yeah. So hopefully they get it turned around because it's early and the NL Central is kind of a mess right now. Yeah. So that's what's good. It's good to be in a mess rather than be behind. So, but anyway, we're gonna wrap it up with Happy time. Happy 67th birthday on Thursday, Jerry Seinfeld. As everybody knows, both Ryan and I are obsessed with the show Seinfeld. So obviously we have to celebrate Jerry's birthday this week. Jerry Seinfeld was a stand-up comedian who started over 40 years ago doing stand-up specials on television. He turned that life into fame by playing himself in his own sitcom Seinfeld, starting in 1989, which ended in 1998. After Seinfeld, he starred in the B-Movie in 2007, and then created his own reality show called Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee, where he's had Julia Louis-Dreyfus, who starred as Elaine on Seinfeld. Yep. He's also had Jason Alexander, President Barack Obama, with him in the car going to get coffee. Yep. So, it is a very good show. Tune into that. It's on Netflix exclusively. And also, Jerry Seinfeld's making more money because just signed a six-year deal, with Netflix for the global rights of Seinfeld. They're going from Hulu, where he was there for that term as well, and they only had the U.S. rights, so he's going to be making a lot more money with them as well. But another rumor about Seinfeld was that he is an avid, this is true, and he is an avid New York Mets fan, but he was speculated this past fall and winter to be interested in purchasing the majority ownership of the New York Mets, but turned down the offer because he said, quote, I don't have enough money.
Cohen's got a lot of money, I will say.
Yes, he does, and he's willing to spend it
Francisco Lindor knows that.
Yes, he does.
So, I mean, that'll be really sweet to have him own it. But Seinfeld, regardless, he's always going to be culturally significant because he's got probably the greatest sitcom of all time. And Seinfeld.
The second button is the key button.
And he's also got an absolute classic children's movie for a lot of kids in our generation. The B movie. The B movie's and it holds up when you're older.
Yes.
So I mean, the B movies kind of become
it's environmentally friendly in 2007, which is pre-environmental.
Yeah.
Kind of
like the B movie. I think a lot of people our age enjoy that movie. Think it's a really funny movie, and yeah, it's quite the film, and it's incredibly goofy and insane, and I think that's what makes it so rewatchable. And yeah, I mean, incredibly influential comedian. The show's literally named after his show. I mean, what else do we really got to say?
I don't think there is. But we do have to say that in the B movie, Michael Richards, who played Cosmo Kramer, was in as Bud Ditchwater, one of the bees there, I believe. So, anyway. But, moving on. Happy anniversary. On this day in 1961... Actually, that is not correct. It should be 2 days later from today. In 1961, the NFL officially recognized the Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio. So, this will be its 60th anniversary, 60th class, hopefully. And they're celebrating both the 2020 and 2021 inductees, which is going to be great. So, hopefully it's a big celebration in Canton, Ohio, when it's time for the Hall of Fame game in early August for all that celebration.
Yep.
And finally, a very melancholy trails to Terrence Clark. Terrence Clark suddenly passed away last week on April 22nd after being involved in a traffic collision while he was heading to practice with his former Kentucky teammate, Brandon Boston Jr. Clark was a McDonald's All-American for the class of 2020, and he's recruited by Calipari in Kentucky to play this past season for a one and done. He averaged 9.6 points per game until he suffered a right leg injury that ended his college freshman season.
He was projected to be in the NBA draft, arguably a lottery pick. It's really tragic, and yeah, obviously,
very sudden.
Our thoughts and prayers go out to his family and everybody who knew him.
Mm-hmm. So, all right, well, that's episode 6 for the Sort of Sorts podcast of the Big Salad. Make sure you tune in next week. Quick shout out to Jonathan Winters because he's one of my favorite comedians. All right.
And next week, expect us to have a lot of moaning and groaning, or cheering, about the NFL draft. Maybe I'll be cheering.
Yes.
And one last thank you. I gave out a thank you last week. Gave out a thank you this week.
Thank you this week.
My thank you this week's Joey Votto. I already talked about him. I want to talk about him some more. Thank you, Joey Votto.
Yes. So hopefully you enjoy draft night this Thursday. Well, hopefully maybe I'll be groaning over my red leg still next Monday. So.
But you'll be thanking Joey Votto.
I will be thanking Joey Votto. Good night. This is Quinn Maseko speaking for the Big Salad Podcast, a Ryan Klinger production. Please note that portions of this podcast were edited before the final cut was produced. The sections of What's the Word and Happy Time are copied from the ESPN show Pardon the Interruption, and there was no intention to infringe on that copyright of these segments and their related music. Stay tuned for our next podcast next Monday here on the Sorta Sports Podcast YouTube channel.